The dusty road stretched endlessly, winding through fields of emerald green and golden yellow, until it finally led Hiba and Anabiya to a cluster of mud brick homes nestled under the vast Indian sky. Hiba, the older sister, peered out of the car window, her city eyes wide with a mix of curiosity and a touch of apprehension. Her younger sister, Anabiya, however, was a whirlwind of pure excitement, bouncing in her seat, eager to explore the unknown world of their grandmother's village. "Look, Hiba, a cow!" Anabiya shrieked, pointing a chubby finger at a placid bovine chewing cud by the roadside. Hiba smiled, a little less reserved than usual. The air here was different, thick with the scent of earth, wood smoke, and blooming jasmine, a stark contrast to the exhaust fumes of their bustling city. This was Dotty's village, a place they had only heard stories about, a world away from their familiar concrete jungle. Their small wish, unspoken but deeply felt, was to truly understand and connect with this vibrant, ancient way of life. As the car pulled up to a small, brightly painted house, Dotty, their grandmother, emerged, her face crinkling into a warm, toothless smile. Her arms, surprisingly strong for her age, enveloped them in a hug that smelled of spices and sunshine. "My little birds have arrived," she cooed, her voice a comforting melody. The initial unfamiliarity quickly melted away under Dotty's boundless affection. The sisters felt an immediate sense of belonging, a gentle tug at their hearts telling them this place and this person were special. Their days in the village unfolded like a vibrant tapestry, each thread a new adventure. Dotty, with her patient hands and twinkling eyes, became their guide. Their first lesson began in the small, sun-drenched vegetable patch behind the house. "These are our children," Dotty explained, gently caressing a tomato plant. "We must nurture them." Hiba, usually meticulous, learned to plant tiny seeds with a delicate touch, understanding the promise of life hidden within each one. Anabiya, ever the enthusiast, giggled as she watered the thirsty plants, her small hands splashing mud with joyful abandon. They felt the cool, rich earth beneath their fingers, a connection to the very ground that sustained the village. They learned that growing food wasn't just a chore. It was a conversation with nature, a dance of patience and reward. Next, Dotty took them to the shimmering pond at the edge of the village, its surface dotted with lily pads. "Today, we fish," she announced, handing Hiba a small, handmade net and Anabiya a simple bamboo rod. Hiba was hesitant, unsure how to approach the slippery, darting creatures. But Anabiya, with her fearless spirit, plunged her rod into the water, her eyes wide with anticipation. Dotty showed them how to cast the net with a graceful swing and how to wait patiently for a nibble on the line. The thrill of feeling a tug, even a tiny one, was exhilarating. They didn't catch many, and the ones they did, they gently released back into the cool water, understanding the delicate balance of life in the pond. It wasn't about the catch, Dotty taught them, but about the respect for the living world. Afternoons were often spent under the shade of a sprawling banyan tree, where Dotty taught them the art of crafting. With nimble fingers, she showed them how to weave sturdy baskets from dried palm leaves, their rough edges softening under their touch. Hiba, with her focus, meticulously followed Dotty's instructions, creating neat, symmetrical patterns. Anabiya, on the other hand, let her imagination soar, decorating small clay pots with colorful, whimsical designs using natural dyes Dotty had prepared. They learned that every piece of craft told a story, a piece of the village's soul woven into its fibers or painted onto its surface. Their hands, once accustomed only to screens and books, now found joy in shaping and creating a tangible connection to the village's heritage. Evenings were filled with laughter as they joined the other village children, playing traditional games under the twilight sky. They chased each other through narrow lanes in spirited games of hide and seek, their shouts echoing with pure joy. They learned to fly kites, watching their colorful creations dance against the deepening blue, feeling the pull of the string as if it connected them directly to the heavens. Hiba, usually reserved, found herself laughing freely, her hair flying as she ran. Anabiya, always outgoing, made friends instantly, her bright smile a universal language. Their bond with Dottie deepened with each shared meal, each story told under the stars. They were no longer just visitors. They were becoming a part of the village, their emotions shifting from mere observation to genuine affection and belonging. One sweltering afternoon, a strange hush fell over the village. The usually clear sky began to darken with an alarming speed, turning a bruised purple. The playful breeze turned into a strong, whistling wind, rustling the leaves of the banyan tree with an ominous sound. Dottie, who had been humming a folk song, suddenly stopped, her eyes scanning the horizon with a worried frown. "A storm is coming," she murmured, her voice laced with concern. "A big one." Panic began to ripple through the village. Villagers hurried to secure their belongings, pulling in clotheslines, tying down loose roofs, and herding their animals to safety. Hiba and Anabiya, who had initially found the dramatic change in weather exciting, now felt a cold knot of fear tightening in their stomachs. The cheerful sounds of the village were replaced by the frantic cries of people and the howling wind. News spread quickly that the river, usually a gentle ribbon of blue, was rising rapidly, threatening to overflow its banks and flood the low-lying fields and homes. The storm broke with a terrifying roar. Rain lashed down in sheets, blurring the world outside their small window. Thunder cracked overhead, shaking the very foundations of Dottie's house, and lightning illuminated the frantic scene outside in stark, momentary flashes. Hiba and Anabiya huddled close to Dottie, their hearts pounding. They watched, feeling utterly helpless, as the village struggled against the fury of nature. They wished they could do something, anything, to help. But what could two city girls, who had only just learned to plant seeds and tie simple knots, possibly do in such a crisis? Dottie, despite her age, remained a beacon of calm. Her face was etched with worry, but her voice was steady. "We must help our neighbors," she declared, grabbing a thick rope and a stack of old sacks. "Every hand counts." She looked at the girls, her eyes firm. "Remember what you learned, my little birds. The earth, the plants, the knots, they all teach us strength and resilience." Her words were a gentle push, a reminder that their newfound skills weren't just for play. Inspired by Dottie's courage, Hiba and Anabiya sprang into action. They remembered Dottie teaching them how to build small, reinforced embankments around the garden to prevent soil erosion. Now, they helped Dottie fill the sacks with mud and sand, their small muscles straining, and carefully placed them around the vulnerable edges of their house and a nearby low-lying path, just as Dottie had shown them, to protect the delicate roots of plants. Hiba's meticulous nature, honed by planting seeds, ensured each sandbag was placed precisely, forming a sturdy barrier. Anabiya's boundless energy, once used for playful splashing, now fueled her quick movements, helping to haul and stack the heavy sacks. Their crafting skills, too, proved invaluable. The strong knots Dottie had taught them to tie for baskets now served to secure a flapping tarp over a neighbor's leaky roof, preventing more water from seeping in. Their nimble fingers, accustomed to weaving leaves, quickly helped mend a torn fishing net that was being used to collect debris from a clogged drain. They worked alongside Dottie and other villagers, their fears slowly replaced by a growing sense of purpose and belonging. They were no longer just observers. They were active participants, their small contributions making a tangible difference in the face of the storm. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the storm began to subside. The rain lessened, the wind softened to a sigh, and a sliver of pale light broke through the bruised clouds. The village, though battered, stood strong, a testament to the collective effort of its people. Hiba and Anabiya, covered in mud and exhausted, looked at each other, their faces streaked with dirt but their eyes shining with an unfamiliar pride. They had helped, they had contributed. Their small hands, once hesitant, had played a part in protecting their grandmother's home and community. Dottie pulled them close, her eyes brimming with tears of gratitude and love. "You are true village girls now," she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. "You understood the earth. You understood the strength in your hands, and you understood the heart of our village. Hiba and Anabiya looked at each other, a new understanding passing between them. They had come to the village as curious visitors, but they were leaving as part of its fabric. Their bond as sisters strengthened by shared experience and a profound sense of accomplishment. As their time in the village drew to a close, the sisters carried with them not just souvenirs, but a treasure trove of memories and a deeper appreciation for life. They had learned that true strength lay not just in grand gestures, but in the quiet resilience of nature, the wisdom of tradition, and the unwavering power of community. They left the sunny village with hearts full of hope, knowing that no matter where they went, the lessons of Dadi and the spirit of the village would always be a warm, guiding light within them, reminding them of the kindness, understanding, and growth they had found.